Hello, hello, it's Carrie, So Much Glitter. Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you guys are here today. So it's been quite some time since I've been able to just play in my craft room. I've either been sick or working or doing school or helping take care of my grandson. It's just been a really crazy year so far. It's so hectic. I'm a little bit nervous what the rest of 2025 is going to bring. So I wanted to just come in here and play today. And I looked over at my basket, oh plenty of supplies I've purchased but not played with. And Bitty Penny's Gilded Rose paper pack was one of them. And I thought, you know what? I have not made any Valentine's Day gifts or cards yet this year. And I'm probably not going to send any out because it's a little bit too late. But I wanted to do Valentine's inspired. So I love this paper pack, and here's just kind of a snippet of what's in here. Everything is double-sided, and there's 4 sheets of everything. So you don't have to hoard anything. And when I watch Bitty Penny, I get inspired because I get so much practical crafting inspiration from her that I'm like, yeah, I could make that too. Something I wouldn't have thought to put together. And then when you do order from Bitty Penny, what I really love is you're not just ordering from a small company, you're ordering from a crafter themselves. So her online boutique, basically, because she does have like boutique items, is so much fun. But you do get like some extra freebies and things like that that she's thrown in, some scraps, which is a lot of fun. As a crafter, I love to see other crafters' scraps. And some fun things for junk journaling and some fun book pages. And these book pages were in order, so of course I read them. And now I'm fully invested in Terry and Lizzie, and I want to know what's going to happen. But let's create with them. I'm going to create a 5x7 card today. And instead of just making a simple card base, I kind of want to mix it up a little bit. I love this as a background, and I really love what's on the back of it as well. So remember, I get 4 sheets, so I don't have to completely hoard it. But I don't want to make this the whole background. I want to make this card a little bit more interesting. So I think I'm going to throw in some mirrored cardstock and kind of offset that just a little bit. And I'm not going to be too picky about my measuring because that's not really what I do. You know, I will if I'm doing a project that's kind of going to depend on it. But what I'm going to do is just trim down the mirrored cardstock. And I'm going to trim this down to, we'll do 2 5/8. I'm still getting to know this new trimmer and scoreboard. So that's kind of been a fun little challenge. And then here, I'll do a little bit more. So I know my measurements aren't gonna they're not adding up, right? But I am just gonna go ahead and put this on the card and kind of see where I would want it. I don't want I hope you can see me, I apologize. I did have some technical difficulty with my tripod earlier, so, okay. I don't necessarily want a border on this because I'm going to have a lot going on, but I did just kind of want to split this up just a little bit because I do want to hoard this paper just a little bit because I really like it and I think I want to use this doily. So I am going to set this aside really quick, and I'm not going to fully trim it down yet. I am going to glue it down before I trim it because that's just what I'm going to do. My glue press has given me a lot of difficulty, and I really love the idea of the glue press because I do have issues with carpal tunnel and stuff sometimes with just because of all the computer work I've done and aging, all of that, just, fun stuff. So I really liked the idea of it because I didn't have to squeeze it too hard, and then I didn't have to get craft room fatigue. But it kind of failed me. My fine tips broke. Both of them broke, and I don't know why. So I'm going to give it another shot because I did pay good money for it. So I had a credit over on, like a loyalty credit over on maymay.com, and she sells them. So I love Maymay too. She's a lot of fun. So I'm getting glue everywhere because now I'm just kind of a mess. So I'm going to, well, maybe we'll just have to cover that up. Wasn't planning on getting glue everywhere, but this is kind of just what's happening. Okay, so I'm going to get out my multi-purpose scissors, trim this down, and I'm just going to trim it along the edge. Now, I could have done the easier thing, and I could have measured it out, right? I just have to get this a little bit wet and I didn't realize this mirrored cardstock would be so finicky. It got mixed in with my Anna Griffin cardstock, and I think this is just off-brand, so that's what I thought I was going for. So it's gonna start out a little bit rough, our card, right? That's okay. This is just gonna be a fun creation. Now, I love this sheet, and I absolutely love this image. It really reminds me of like The Secret Garden, Wizard of Oz, things like that. And those are two of my favorite stories from when I was younger. And I'm just gonna go ahead and trim this down as close to the edge as I can get. And then I'm going to back it with a book page because I just think that that'll be fun because it just reminds me of a story. So this will be kind of just a lot of interesting points in this card. So it's not just going to be a straightforward one idea type of card. I kind of have a few different ideas going in here, and we'll see how it turns out. And if I don't like it, then you won't see the video. Or I'll keep the card for my stash, or hey, who knows? Okay. So what I want to do is I do want to kind of measure. I'm doing that off to the side on my my mat. So I do want to, so we'll do 4.5 by 2.5. So we'll do 4.5 for the book page, and that's good. So then we'll do 2.5. Okay, and you know what? I did not even think. That's not, because I want it to go like this. Maybe I will just measure it off here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue this down where I want it, and then I'm gonna cut around it. It's my weekend. I'm not in it to win it with the numbers right now, so I didn't even take into consideration directional over there when I trimmed this down, and I should have. So there goes Lizzie's story. But I will, okay, use it for something else. It's not going to be that big of a deal. So I'm going to trim this larger than I want it. So that's not going to be, that's not even on there. I do understand that. And this cardstock is much thicker than the book page. And I'm just going to save my scraps off to the side and just kind of trim it down. And I think I trimmed that a little bit too much, but it's okay. Okay, so I want this to be the center of the card, and I'm realizing I kind of have a hump on my card. You can probably see it in the camera just because this, I should have put the mirrored paper under it. So what I could do is I could get a ribbon, which I think that is maybe what I'll do, to kind of put that in the middle. It'll add a little bit more interest. I have a few things I do want to do with this card, and I think the ribbon would fit. So if you could just hang tight really quick, I'm going to go grab my ribbon. And I'm going to be back. So I wasn't really prepared to have to deal. I just cleaned off my desk, so I wasn't prepared with the ribbon. But I think that this will kind of be a good distraction from what I have going on. I'm going to cut it bigger than I need it. I always do with my ribbon. I'm going to get my Fabri-Tac out. I have a small thing of it. I do need to go get a bigger one. Or I can order online. I've been trying not to order too much. I'm trying to be in a low buy for 2025, just because, especially with crafting things, because of the basket I have set off to the side. Like, I must have blacked out or something in 2024 and just bought whatever I darn well wanted, which I've been known to do. So thinking I'll use that later, and I absolutely did not get time to use that later. So that might be a little bit crooked, and you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. I am going to go ahead and glue this down. I might pop this up actually, which would be more efficient. And I wasn't really prepared to pop anything up either. So let me go through my stash and see if I have this. Okay. And I'll just cut this into strips. Kind of pop this up. This is really, really old foam tape. I think I ordered it quite a few years ago from Stamps of Life. And this might even be too big. Let's see. Let's just put it down here and see, because with this book page being so thin compared to everything else, I might really just be making a mess. And if so, you're not going to know because I'm not going to show it. And with this foam tape being so old, it still does have stick on it, but I don't know. I bought this before, I want to say either during COVID or before. So I'm going to add some glue onto it because I'm not sure how well that's going to stick. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop this up right in the middle and put this down. Now, this obviously isn't going to be mailing friendly, but like I said, I'm not mailing this off, and that's not why I'm making it, so I'm not worried about it. But if that's what you were wanting to do, you would probably need to flatten everything, and my advice would be to put this mirrored cardstock underneath this cardstock. So that's kind of where I kerfuffled. But we'll keep moving on. And then I did get this little butterfly or moth in with the Bitty Penny goodies. So that was a lot of fun. So Bitty, if you're watching this, thank you. I appreciate it. I haven't been able to watch you as much as I had been in the past because I've been so darn busy. I do like to listen to a lot of my favorite crafters on my commute. Like when I drive to work or when I drive home. I don't get to watch them, but it's like I'm listening to them like a podcast. So that's a lot of fun. And I didn't even get to watch Craft Roulette this Friday. That's how busy I've been. So I don't even know what those parameters are. So this card could work with that. So we'll see. We will see. It's just something fun that I get to play finally with this this Gilded Rose set. So I like a lot of we could just leave it like this. We could honestly just leave it like this, and this is a beautiful card, I think. But I like a lot of this extra stuff in this kit. I like a lot of these images. I like these. I really like the stamps and the little roses and everything that's going on. And so I think I just want to add to that. And I don't know if I want to put a postage stamp or something, but maybe I want to create some sort of like a little cluster up in the corner. So I'm going to get out my cutter bees because this seems just really fine detailing for me. And I did, now that I'm just thinking about it, wanted to bring out my my ink to ink it up, and I did not ink up the book page, but no worries, because the book page isn't, you know, it's more of a off color anyway, so it's not like a stark white around it. Like this will have kind of like a white rim around it. I'm going to try to cut it as close as I can. I'm not going to be able to cut around the fine details to make it look like, you know, like roughly like the doily. So this is where inking up the edges is going to come in handy. I like to keep my cutter beads on hand because these are my first love for fussy cutting. I love fussy cutting. But I really like these new Tim Holtz ones, the bigger ones as well, for a lot of my paper cutting and a lot of my fussy cutting needs. But when I get into the finer details, I like to have more control. And I don't want to be maneuvering the big blades around. So, you know, everyone has different tools for different things. So let me know what you guys have been crafting in the new year. Like, I don't know, like, what are the trends? I see a lot of the trends in life right now are low buy. Let's not buy a bunch of things. We don't know what's happening. So that's kind of scary for a lot of us in employment, in the crafting world, otherwise when we go to the store. So that's been kind of frightening. So it's really good to get in the craft room and find what you love. Find what your self-care is and dive into that. Make time for that. Yeah, there is things to worry about. Oh, look, that just happenstance. That looks very nice together. And of course, I did not. I could probably still pull it up if I had time. I don't know. I didn't even put into consideration putting down the whole thing. So maybe I won't. It'll just be half of it there. So I'm going to ink up the edges, but give yourself time to worry if that's what you need to do. My advice as a mental health counselor is to put a timer on your worry. We can't help but worry about things, right? Life is worrying. Being an adult, we're worried about our children. We're worried about our future, whatever it may be. Put a time limit on that. Do not let that consume you and do not let that become your whole day. So I'm just going to probably have this off to the edge, which is fine for me. I'll just cut it off. But definitely leave more time for what you love and your self-care. If it's crafting, if it's reading, if it's going to the gym, whatever your self-care is. And of course I got glue here, so this paper is not going to cooperate with me, but we'll make it work. Leave more time for that. You need to leave time for that as well. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, you're getting sleep. Honestly, if I would have known that this paper was going to be so darn difficult, I wouldn't have used it. But that's okay. It's just part of the process. Okay. So for me, self-care is crafting, and I love creating things. I love working with my hands. So that's a lot of fun. Okay, so I want to leave that up in the corner, and I want to create a little bit of interest up there with that because I don't want the doily just to sit there alone. My idea was to use one of these, but I don't know. Honestly, let's cut up this paper and see. I really like the stamps or the watches, you know, so that's a lot of fun. So let me cut up. I wanted to add a little bit more color, so because I have a lot of white in there now. I'm just going to keep going. So this is really kind of an unplanned impromptu video. I know I'm not live, and I could do a lot of editing and make this just the most perfect project ever, and you would never know the difficulty I went through. Let's be honest, that's not realistic. We all have struggles in the craft room, and we all have creative ideas as we go, and our projects evolve as we make them. A lot of mine do, because I have kind of a basic idea of what I want. But I also have, like, as I get going and I see more things, you know, everything evolves. Projects evolve. Okay, so I do like that, if you can see that. I think that's really pretty. I could just leave it there. But I kind of like this. I like the idea of having the stamp there too. I just don't know. So we're just kind of creating like a little cluster right there. I don't know if I want the stamp there or not. Oh, and I grabbed the wrong scissors. Look at that. Okay. And if we want to cut into this, and we're cutting into another image, no worries, because we have 3 more sheets just like this. So that kind of covers up a lot of the scuffing that I did on the paper because of the glue, and I was trying to wipe it off with my towel. My little handy towel is kind of my favorite in the craft room because I don't necessarily like to get my hands all sticky when I'm doing projects because I'm not right next to a sink or whatever. I would have to get up and move. I like the bee, I think. Let's see. I'm not sure which stamp I want to use. I'm just going to kind of lay it down and see. And this is what happens. Like, hey, we don't know that. It does look a little odd, that size. Okay. So we have this. Now we're kind of getting into the realm of too many colors, I think, because I wanted to keep this. I just kind of wanted these roses to pop. So I think I'm going to go with my first instinct. And because things like Wizard of Oz and The Secret Garden are timeless to me, I think it would be so appropriate to do one of these watches. And I think I like the darker one. I'm not the greatest at fussy cutting the circle. Like, that's the hardest. It's so easy just to get like a punch or something that's about the same size and punch it out. But that's not what we have going on right now. So I'm just gonna try to cut it up to the edge as much as I can without cutting it off. And I'll just try as few passes as I can with the blade, which that doesn't necessarily always work out. And now I think this side is a little bit too thick on the border, but we risk losing it. And what we can do is we can tone that down just a little bit too, just to kind of make it look a little bit aged. And we could put that like up there, or let's cut this down and see. And then we'll just have a real simple card. And again, I'm not going to be able to cut all of this texture into this. So I'll cut so you can see the texture, and then I'll ink around it. And at least you can get the shape of a stamp. And did you guys all see that the Betty White stamps are coming out? I don't know if they've already came out, to be honest with you. I just canceled my P.O. box because, wow, I was up for renewal, and they really raised those prices for me. And I use it quite a bit, but I don't, like, I get packages and stuff sent to my physical address because I get home. It's too difficult with their hours and my hours. But wow, they really raised those prices. So it was going to be well over $200 for my P.O. box for the year. So no, that's not happening. And now I think I lost my little pocket watch that I cut out. Oh, nope, I didn't. Okay. Blend it in. So I haven't been there as much since I canceled that, and so I don't know if the Betty White stamps are out or not. I don't know. I just think that looks so cute behind there. I just think it's cute. So it's just kind of like something in the background, maybe. That maybe looks a little bit better. Or we could kind of put that up into there. I don't want everything to be so centered that it just like looks like it's one big long line. Oh, so now I'm just moving it. Okay, so I'm just gonna, here, let's do this. Just put this in the middle. And I realize I'm covering up most of the doily, but that's okay. I have different opportunities to use this paper because I have 3 more. So it's not going to be, there we go. I'm just gonna put that off to the side. Okay, there we go. And this one will slide right up in here. I don't know. I mean, that's just cute like that. And maybe what I will do is, in true junk journaling fashion, leave it like it could be like a little tuck spot if I wanted to tuck up a little note or a sentiment. Oh, it glued all the way down. Never mind. Never mind. I thought it could be a little tuck spot. I guess I put too much glue on there for that. Maybe that's the problem with my paper. I'm putting too much glue on it. Okay, so that's fun. Something fun and different that we have. Not everything is asymmetrical, which is perfectly fine. I could actually put this in one of my junk journals. I have a an attic journal that I just did, and this would fit very nicely in it. And when I give it to the recipient, although I don't have anybody planned for that journal, I could just put it in the journal and that be part of the present for it. And so if you want to go check out that video, that is here on my channel. And that everything in that attic journal is from Sweet Pea Curiosities, and the style is very similar. Actually, Biddy Penny is on the design team of Sweet Pea Curiosities, as am I, which I feel super honored to be on the same design team as her. I think that's pretty cool. A lot of these images, she did say, some of them, not a lot of them, but some of them are from Sweet Pea Curiosities because her and Marissa kind of collaborated. So I think that is super fun. So it has the same vintagey vibe. I really like this. It is inspired, Valentine's Day inspired. And what I'm going to do is, because I didn't perfectly put this up to the edge, I'm going to ink it. So it just looks very vintage, and if I want to throw it in that journal, I can, and it'll just flow with everything really well. If I want to give this like to a friend or a coworker or something like that, I'm going to ink up over here too, because this mirrored cardstock kind of did me dirty. Because I thought it was the Anna Griffin, the matte cardstock. That cardstock from Anna Griffin is the best if you want like a little bit of shine, but you don't want to have to deal with the hassle. So that's what I thought it was. It's not. It's okay. So it kind of distracts from all the scuffing on it. But so here we go. So I did create this from the Gilded Rose paper pack, and you can order that right on her website if you want. I'm not like on her design team or anything like that. I absolutely just love Biddy's products, and she really inspires me in a practical way, and I think that that is a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I'm a little bit rusty. I know I've taken some time off because I've been sick, and then I was off for Christmas, and it's been just such a whirlwind, but I'm glad to be back in my craft room, and I'm glad to be taking part of the self-care, and I just think that that's pretty wonderful. So yeah, let me know what you guys have been creating, and what's your self-care routine? Is it crafting? Is it going to the gym? Is it retail therapy? Whatever it is, let me know, and I hope you guys enjoyed today, and I will see you around very soon. Bye, guys.